Hello and welcome back to Popcorn Chat. I hope you guys are doing well. In this video, I'm going to be bringing you my thoughts on the Banshees of Inisherin. When this film was announced, I didn't even need to go and see a trailer. I saw a still and who was in the cast, and I was sold. So I was excited to check this one out at the London Film Festival, where I was able to go and see a public screening. I went to go and see it with Aaron from Aaron at the Movies. Do check him out if you haven't already. I'll put his link down below so you can go and follow his channel. And we went to go and see this film. I think we were both sort of highly anticipating seeing this film, and I'll let you get into my thoughts now. So in this film, we follow the two main characters of Patrick and Colm, who live on this small island of Inisherin, and it's sort of 1920s island. It's very sort of remote and isolated, and they seem to be best of friends for a very long time. And then one day Colm realises that he doesn't want to be friends with Patrick anymore because he's quite dull. And that's the kind of base for this film, and it goes down this sort of dark comedy. There's other characters in there. We have Patrick's sister, we have Barry Keoghan, who plays Dominic, plays very much like the fool of the village, I would say, but offers that other sort of perspective. So it's very much a story about a small community, and it just so happens that, you know, one guy doesn't want to be a friend with another guy because he's realised that life's too short and his friends are quite boring, and he wants to play music and talk about the arts. So it was nice to see Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell back together on screen. I'm sure we've all seen it in Bruges, and we love that sort of dynamic, and I think they sort of brought that on over to this film whilst also making it its own thing. You know, it's not the same characters by any means, but it was great to see these two actors bouncing off each other in the scenes in this film. Colin Farrell is one of my favourite actors, you know, of the last sort of 5 years. I think he's really sort of revamped his career and done some really interesting projects. And I think he does a good job here. It's not the best thing I've seen him in, but I think he plays this sort of very much a needy character really, really well, who, you know, he's just sort of maybe realising some stuff about himself, the fact that his friend doesn't want to be his friend, but obviously he's very sort of, he's so uncertain why he doesn't want to be his friend at the beginning, and then he comes to a bit of realisation of maybe, you know, maybe he doesn't want to be his friend anyway. So I think he does that really, really well. Brendan Gleeson's pretty good at being a moody guy. Yeah. Barry Keoghan, excellent job being the sort of village fool. He's sort of known in this film as being, you know, the most dim character in the village, but I think he does an excellent job. Barry Keoghan is very good at playing this sort of, you know, village fool. He has this ability to play these very much like sort of folklore characters, these sort of pagan archetypes. He does it really well, sort of bringing this sort of classic element, very much sort of theatre kind of style of acting. I think he'd be, you know, really good in something like A Midsummer's Night Dream. We have to talk about Jenny the donkey. We love Jenny the donkey. She was a standout in this film. I want a miniature donkey. She was so good. She was really good as a companion. I liked Colin Farrell's character, his relationship with all the animals, you know, living with his sister, and, you know, he was very persistent on bringing them inside the house, and she was like, no, 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 no. No animals in the house. The donkey was fabulous. I really think Kerry Condon did a great job in this. I've never sort of noticed her before in any of the films that I've seen, but I think she did a cracking job and did, you know, played a really sort of integral part in this film, being Patrick's sister and sort of being the instigator that he needs to change and maybe sort of move on with his life as well. I think she's a really great character, and I think she does a really good performance. I really loved the sort of aesthetic of this world. The costume designing was beautiful. Some really nice sort of colours, you know, obviously really reflective of 1920s Ireland and the kind of pigments they would have used from the dyes. Some really nice jumpers. Colin Farrell's character was wearing some excellent jumpers, some sort of collared jumpers and shirts that were amazing. I would love to sort of look up who the costume designer was. This film has a lot more sort of folklore and sort of, I think there's a lot of morality in this film, and there's a lot more sort of dark elements to it. It starts off quite light, but I think as the film progresses it does have this darker tone and maybe some sort of like pagan folk kind of fables in there, which was interesting. I think it works. I think it's interesting in different terms of a story beats and sort of what do the characters learn, where are they at the end of the film. I think that was an interesting element that I've not really seen or expected when I heard this film was announced. So I'm sure you're all wondering, how does this compare to the likes of In Bruges? And to be honest, I do prefer In Bruges. I think there's something about the characters in that maybe is a little bit stronger. However, I would definitely revisit this film. I had a great time with it, and I would definitely show it to people. I'd be like, watch this film, I think it's really entertaining, and has some great performances in it. So I would definitely recommend it, and I would watch it again. So it definitely passes that, but I do prefer In Bruges, I'm going to say that. So I'm going to give this film 3.5 stars out of 5. Hope you guys enjoyed my review of the Banshees of Inisherin. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments if you've checked the film out, or maybe you're just really intrigued to see what it's about and what my thoughts are, and come back and let me know once you've seen the film. I'd love to hear what your opinions are of this film, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already to stay up to date with any other London Film Festival reviews coming out on the channel, because you don't want to miss those. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another popcorn chat.